The emergency alert went off at 2:13 a.m., but I didn't check it. I was too busy duct taping my neighbor's mouth shut while she bled all over my hallway. They said, "Do not leave your home." But they didn't say what to do when the thing banging on your door finds its way inside. Her name was Darla. She lived in 3B, 2 doors down. The kind of woman who wore slippers to check the mail and had 6 ceramic angel statues in her window. Harmless, friendly, until she started screaming. The first time was last week. A low, bone-scraping wail around 3 a.m. Thought she was being murdered. I actually called the cops, back when that still mattered. But when they came, she just smiled and said she'd been sleepwalking.
Bad dream,
she said. Bullshit, because the screaming didn't stop. The emergency alert hit 5 nights later. High-pitched tone, that robotic voice.
This is a statewide emergency alert. Do not leave your home. Stay inside. Barricade entry points. Avoid windows. This is not a test.
I was already barricaded. Door locked. Deadbolt slammed into place. Couch pushed against it. Kitchen knives laid out on the coffee table like I was waiting for a fucking charcuterie board made of sin. But Darla, she was there. Just on the other side of the door. Screaming like someone was peeling her alive. I peeked through the peephole. She was on all 4s, nails dragging across the concrete. I could hear the rough surface snagging at her nails. Then a soft pop as one. Then 2 nails went skittering away as she clawed at the cement. Skin pale as chalk, hair sticking straight up like static. And she was looking right at my door, like she knew I was there, like she could see through the wood. Then she started talking. Not words, more like crackling, as if I could hear the static of a radio trying to tune in every time her mouth hung open. But inside the fuzz were other sounds, words trying to form, and I swear to fuck, that sounded like my mother's voice. And my mother's been dead for 6 years. I didn't open the door. I also didn't sleep. Next night, I heard her, but not from beyond my door. She was inside the walls. I don't know how, but she was there. Maybe she burrowed her way in from her side of the wall. I heard her scraping through the narrow passages. The snag of cloth, a bump of a limb, low staticky murmuring. I called the cops. They didn't pick up. Then it stopped, and I let out a breath I felt like I was holding for days. Until I heard her that night. Just a movement in the dark I couldn't place. Then her voice came from the vent above my bed, whispering through the old rusted grate.
Let me in, sweetie. I have to show you.
My eyes snapped up just to see half of her face peering down at me. I laughed. A giddy, high-pitched thing, just for a moment. Until I realized this must be what it feels like to go insane. She laughed with me. By night 3 of no sleep, I'd gone full batshit. Toppled all my furniture against the wall so she wouldn't get in. Shoved towels under every door gap. Put toilet paper in my ears to keep her voice, and the alert. The only thing playing on TV now, out of my ears, didn't work. She started crying, sobbing, moaning, to just let her in so she can show me, saying those words over and over again. That's when I snapped. I opened the fucking door, and there she was, standing in a puddle of blood barefoot, head twitching like a broken bobblehead. Darla, I said. She smiled.
Sweetie.
Then she lunged. I don't remember grabbing the knife. I don't remember dragging her inside, but I remember the way her blood smelled, metallic and sweet, like burnt pennies soaked in cheap perfume. She shrieked in tones I didn't know humans could make, the kind of screaming that makes your bones itch. So I duct taped her mouth shut, and still I could hear her inside my head. That was 3 hours ago. She's tied up in my tub now, body still twitching. I checked her pupils. One was a pinhole, The other. Looked like a spiral. Then my phone lit up. I grabbed it off the sink. Another emergency alert. But this time it was different. It said,
"One down, one to go."
I looked up then, and I swear, in my reflection, my eyes didn't match. I started laughing again. Then I slammed my head into the mirror. Time to go say hi to my neighbors.
I got the emergency alert while stuffing body number 6 into my freezer. Imagine my surprise when it said, "Do not leave your home," like I fucking planned to. Most folks panic when the world ends. Me? It was game time. Let's just say I've been waiting for this for a while. I've got enough canned meat to outlast a famine. Rain catchers, solar battery packs, weapons, please. My shed has more steel than a medieval armory. And let's be honest, I've never liked people anyway. So when the sky cracked open and that emergency alert turned every goddamn screen in my house red, I was ready. Emergency broadcast. Alert. Do not leave your home. Do not trust anyone outside. Stay indoors until further notice. I smiled, because I just finished zip-tying a guy who broke into my tool shed. He was the 6th one. 6 people trying to take what's mine in 3 days. Each one seemed off, filthy, hollow-eyed and twitching like addicts cut off from their dopamine fix. I'm not a complete savage. I give a warning, but they came at me. First one got a knife in the thigh. Second one, a hammer to the head. Third, I had to gut. Screamed like a wild pig. But by number 6, I was getting efficient. Fast zip tie to the wrists, duct tape to the mouth, roll them down the stairs, and bam. New meat popsicle for the chest freezer in the basement. And no, I'm not eating them. Not yet, anyway. I'm not some psycho. I'm just cautious. Whatever this shitstorm is, plague, radiation, monsters, viral hallucinations, I'm not letting it in. I keep it simple now. Anyone comes near, I drop them. One warning, then steal. Hell, I even carved it into my door. Try me. I dare you. But then the sirens stopped, and something worse replaced them. The murmuring. Not from the crazies outside, from under the floorboards. It started soft, like a breeze through an open window. Then it got words. You're not safe. And it knew things. Called me by name. Described the inside of my house, room by room. I emptied a clip into the floor just to shut it up. Still didn't stop. That night, something started dragging itself across the space beneath my house. A low reverberation from the basement. I watched it on my motion sensor monitor. Something scuttling on the ground, never staying in one place. A flicker of movement at the far edge of the screen, half swallowed by static. Something tall, maybe? Or maybe hunched. I couldn't tell if it was a person or my stockpiles. 1 second it was near the water heater. Next, right under where my bed would be. I bolted the basement door shut and poured bleach in every vent. I was sitting in the middle of my living room, hugging my rifle when the emergency alert changed. The red screen came back, but it was flickering now, glitching like an old VHS tape. And the voice? Not robotic anymore. It was my voice. Do not trust the basement. You've brought it inside. What? There's no way I'd ever let anyone or anything get past me, no way in hell. I ran, down the stairs, flung open the freezer. All 6 bodies were still there, eyes frozen open, skin pale. I let out a breath and chuckled. The fuck I let anything in? I started closing the freezer. Except, one of them was smiling. Then it moved. Just a twitch at first. A spasm in the cheek. Then the jaw unhinged like a fucking snake. It spoke through cracked lips.
Thank you for letting me in.
I slammed the lid shut, padlocked it, poured kerosene over the whole damn thing and lit it up. The fire roared to life. Whatever it was and however it got in, it was cooked now. I won. I laughed, chest heaving with it, as tears ran down my cheeks and it laughed with me. That was 2 days ago. The freezer's still burning. Just the freezer. I'm back in my living room now, with my rifle. My security cameras only show static, except one. The one facing down into the basement. Its wide angle shows the descent of stairs, the rows and rows of canned food, the barrels of water, and me. I'm standing at the top of the stairs, looking into the camera, smiling. And behind me, the freezer's still burning.
When the emergency alert said, "Don't leave your home," I listened. So did my daughter. But then she started asking who the other girl was. I didn't go crazy all at once. No one does. It's more like a slow zipper opening up your skull from the inside, and you can hear your sanity slipping through the teeth. It started with the alert. The voice was wrong, too calm, too warm, like some kindergarten teacher smiling while she reads your death sentence. "This is not a drill. Stay inside. Lock all windows and doors. Do not open your doors to anyone. Wait for further instruction." I locked everything. The doors, the windows, the attic hatch. Then I pulled Ellie into my arms and said, "We're going to be just fine, sweetie. Mommy's got you." That was 17 days ago. We rationed the cereal, drank condensation from the windows, played board games until I started seeing the Monopoly Man in my sleep. The power died on day 5. The scratching started on day 6. It came from just outside our house. Soft at first, curious, then knocking. Not frantic, polite, all around the outside of our home.
Can Ellie come out to play?
I told her not to answer. I screamed it at her once. She cried. I felt like a monster. I swore I'd do better. But she kept hearing it. Said she saw a little girl in the hallway, wearing the same pajamas she wore last year. Said she looked just like her, but with no mouth. I took down the mirrors after that. Then Ellie stopped eating. Said her tummy hurt. Said the little girl whispered bad things through the walls at night. Said I wasn't the real mommy. That one broke me. I slapped her. I'd never done that before. She didn't cry. She just smiled and whispered,
Mommy locked the door again, but the bad girl's already inside.
That night, I found crayon drawings on the kitchen wall. Stick figures. Me, Ellie, and another girl. The third one had no face. I asked her if she did it. She shook her head.
She drew them while I was sleeping.
Day 11, the emergency alert came back. Same screen, same voice. If you hear knocking, don't answer. If it sounds like your child, don't answer. If it sounds like you, remove your eyes with a spoon. I tore apart the hallway, pulled down drywall and insulation with my bare hands, screamed at the air until my throat bled. Ellie watched me. Didn't speak, didn't blink, just kept drawing. The next morning she was gone. Her room was empty, and her little shoes sat by the door, facing inward. But the door was still locked, chains unbroken, nothing open, nothing touched. I called for her until my voice cracked. I begged, Ellie, baby, Mommy's not mad. Please come out. Please. Then I heard the voice from the closet. It was mine. Ellie, baby, Mommy's not mad. Please come out. I froze. Something scratched inside the closet. Slow, rhythmic, then a soft knock, knock, knock. I whispered, "What are you?" The voice replied, "What are you?" Fear battled numbness in my body. I didn't open it. Not then. I sat there in the debris-filled hall staring at the closet door. Then, I just let the candle I was holding roll out of my hand. It moved softly, settling at the gaping hole I had made in the wall. I watched as the small flame licked up the old insulation and spread. The heat grew. My skin blistered. My eyebrows crisped. But the flames didn't reach the closet. They just danced around it, like they were scared. Now it's day 17. The food's gone, water's gone, and something's still knocking. I stood, making my way to the closet door. I took a breath and opened it. She was inside, the woman and the little girl. They leaned against the far wall, shadows covering their faces, but there was enough dim light that I could see the woman holding the girl. And I knew. Just then I heard a noise behind me.
You found me, Mommy?
Ellie. The relief and heartache battled with joy as she took my hand and smiled.
Let's go play.
I haven't slept in 6 days. Might be 7, might be 50. Time turned to soup. The alerts hit during my second cup of coffee right before I was gonna walk the dog. Dog's dead now. Let's just get that out of the way. The alert said, "Do not leave your home. Find shelter immediately. Do not look outside." No context, no end time. Just that. I was fine with that. Thought I could use it as an excuse not to go into work and go back to gaming. Me and my roommate Cal bumped fists and joked how we could make it on the year's worth of pandemic rice we still had from COVID. We were survivors. We even laughed when the emergency alert popped up. Thought it was some nuclear drill gone sideways. Until our phones screamed that awful blaring alert sound at 3:11 a.m. Then the sirens started. The old Cold War kind. Long drawn-out death howls that get in your teeth. They haven't stopped since. At first I thought it was a glitch. Then I saw the neighbor's windows painted black. Then I watched the news anchor smile while she slit her own throat on live TV. So yeah, not a glitch. The sounds didn't start until the second night. Wet moving sounds I couldn't place. Like mixing jello in a bowl. Then silence. Like whatever was out there knew how long it took for fear to creep up your spine before you were about to lose it. Cal looked at me, eyes already haunted.
Probably some asshole playing with us,
he said. He was trying to play it cool, but I could see the sweat drip down the side of his face. We didn't open the door. That night, we heard our neighbor Miss Irene screaming up until she shredded her own vocal cords. Day 4, we noticed we were running low on food. We debated what the best strategy should be. Cal said since he was faster, he should go first. He used to be a track star back in high school, and thought if there was anything crazy out there, he'd just book it back. I told him that was just stupid. We can both go to watch each other's back. He came back with, if we did that, there'd be no way of knowing if some fucked up weirdo got into the house. To hit his point home, he said I could watch for him if he came running. I could slam the door on whatever might be after him. In the end, we flipped a quarter. Cal won. He duct-taped a butcher knife to a broom handle like a DIY Spartan, carried another and said he'd hit the gas station 2 blocks down. He opened the back door, said,
"I'll be fast,"
and slipped into the fog. I alternated between looking out the back and front windows just like we planned, my ears straining to pick up on footsteps. The air outside looked wrong, like a bad dream filmed through milk. Dread started to pool in my stomach. I sat at the front door with a hammer in one hand and a mallet in the other. He came back 12 hours later. Walking, not running. It looked like Cal. He wore his jacket, his boots, but his face was weird. It was too smooth. We hadn't slept much, but all of a sudden there were no bags under his eyes. And those were wrong too. His eyes had no red veins from lack of sleep or soreness. They looked like polished glass. Also, he hadn't blinked since coming back. Not once.
"I got jerky,"
he said, smiling. His voice was close, just slightly off. Like the way you sound when your throat is dry and need water. When I didn't answer, he tilted his head, like a crow.
"You're not happy to see me?
The smile didn't move.
I almost died out there, man."
Then he blinked, but sideways. I pretended everything was fine. That night, I took the mallet and locked myself in the bathroom. I heard him walking back and forth in the hall, until finally, he stood on the other side whispering things through the door like,
"Do you remember the Halloween party last fall?
I didn't say anything.
I wonder how many people are running around out there.
I still said nothing. I heard him get even closer to the door.
I peeled the meat off the real cow. He screamed for a long time.
My heartbeat thundered. My palms were sweaty around the handle of the mallet.
Do you want to wear his face too? I saved some.
The power cut out just before sunrise. Fuck. I don't even remember choosing the bathroom. Maybe sleep deprivation. Or maybe it was just the closest door I could get to with a lock. I don't know. Doesn't matter. All I know is that I slammed it shut, twisted the lock, and tried not to have a panic attack with the thoughts of him chasing after me. Then I sat, in the dark, on cold tile, barely breathing, and I listened as he moved around the house. At first it was just footsteps, slap, 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 up and down the hallway, then sprinting, then pounding. Each pass, a fist hammered the door, rattling the hinges, sending my guts into free fall. Like he was doing laps, just to fuck with me. Like he enjoyed the sound of my fear. Then, silence. A silence so loud it rang in my ears. Stretching, pressing in on my skull. I sat there, holding my breath until my ribs felt like they'd snap inward. Then, I got stupid, curious, desperate. I worked up the nerve and crawled toward the door, palms slick against the tile, got on my belly and lowered my face toward the inch of clearance beneath the door. My breath hitched. My heart was a fucking sledgehammer, and he was already there. His face, even through the ambient light I could see his face mashed up against the gap, skin squashed and puckered like meat through a grate. His eye, that one eye, was dead on mine, bulging and unblinking. I recoiled so fast I cracked the back of my skull on the sink and screamed. I knew he was pressing his face harder into the door. I could hear the strain of it on the other side. He was breathing like a rabid animal, fast and shallow, huffing like it tasted me. And through the door, I heard it. Barely a whisper, but thick and wet.
Found you.
Day 5. The power came back on. I had my face pressed to the tile, 3 feet from the door, eyes fixed on the 1-inch gap. Nothing. No movement. No breathing. Just silence. For hours, I told myself this was it. It was time. Run. Kill. Survive. My hand clenched the hammer handle so hard my fingers cramped. I had my plan. Yank the door open, bolt for my room, and bash in anything that breathed wrong with the mallet, or the hammer, or both. Fuck it. Everything. 3. Deep breath. 2. Go. The door exploded open. I was up, charging down the hall, hammer raised, adrenaline chewing my nerves raw. Only the hallway light was on. Everything else? Black as a goddamn pit. Each doorway I passed felt like a throat waiting to swallow me. Cal could have lunged out at any second, teeth first. But nothing came. Just that buzzing silence. I made it to the bedroom, slammed the door, locked it, dragged the dresser in front. Heart hammering, sweat pouring, head spinning. I scanned the room, under the bed, behind the curtains, closet cracked open just enough to say, check me or die. All clear. I staggered to the door, leaned in, and peered through the keyhole. The hallway looked empty. Then, it moved. At the very edge of the hallway light, something dragged itself into view. Slow, sloppy, like its body didn't know how to be human anymore. Its skin sagged off like soaked cardboard, flesh slipping. Watched as it tried to pull the skin back in place with each movement, like it was trying to keep it from falling off. It wasn't Cal. Or maybe it was. Day 6. It knocked all night, not pounding, not frantic, just tapping, rhythmic, polite. It tried to speak, but the voice was wrong, dry and harsh. I didn't answer. Eventually I snapped. I had to take my chances outside. I haven't heard anyone else scream. Not since Miss Irene. As a matter of fact, I haven't heard anything from the outside. Maybe Cal was something isolated. I needed to move. I needed to see outside. I threw open my window and climbed onto the roof. Fog burned my throat like bleach as I slowly walked towards the front of the house. The world was quiet, eerily silent. But down below, they stood. People, neighbors. From a distance, they looked normal. except for the skinned corpses stacked like firewood. They weren't burying them, just organizing them, putting bodies into piles on front lawns as far as I could see. They all wore the same smile, as if their faces froze mid-laugh. It was too wide, like they'd seen a tutorial on how to human and fucking failed. Then, they all looked up at me, every single one, in unison, and waved. I'm in the attic now, thinking about my next move, trying to come up with a plan and fast, because I can't stay here forever, and because there's something scratching at the attic hatch.
This has been your broadcast from Hold Your Breath. You've reached the end of this alert, and I want to thank you for listening. I wonder, what would you do if you got a strange alert? Leave a comment below if your team stay inside or team go outside. Well, until next time.